Glad that you joined us on this Sunday morning. A very special edition of FlashPoint. It is the last FlashPoint of 2015, and we're thrilled to be joined by Congressman Richard Hudson. Part of your responsibilities in Washington, you serve on the House Energy and Commerce Committee, focusing a lot on the EPA's ozone rules and how they impact manufacturing jobs, how they impact the economy. So the UN Climate Change Conference and 195 nations came together with a new plan to reduce emissions. So let's talk about that a little bit. Tell me why this doesn't help the 8th District, why it doesn't help with jobs.
Sure. Well, we can all agree that humans impact the environment and impact the global temperatures, but to what degree? There's a lot of question about it. And then my position is, though, the policies that the president is proposing, what impact are they actually going to have on the global climate? And most studies, even the EPA admits, it'll have negligible impact. But then you look at what impact will it have on people back here at home, and it could have a tremendous impact in destroying jobs. And the ozone rule in particular is a rule that we've tried to rein the EPA in. They've in March of this year put out the guidance on how to comply with the rule we passed a couple years ago that lowered the parts per billion allowed in the environment, in the air. And North Carolina has made great progress. We've actually I think had something like a 20% reduction over the last few years in North Carolina. And Charlotte actually around that time put something out in the paper that, congratulations, we've met attainment level. And I did an editorial responding saying, not so fast, Charlotte, because the EPA now is lowering that another 10 parts per billion to the point that places like Montgomery County, North Carolina, will be out of compliance. In Montgomery County, I testified in a hearing in Congress about this, is a place that's beautiful, maybe one of the most beautiful parts of the country. You've got Uwharrie Forest making up about 40% of the county, and they've been decimated by manufacturing job loss over the last decade or so. And so there's not a huge industrial base in that county. And so if they're out of attainment, that means you can't have any new jobs, you can't have any new construction projects, you can't put water sewer pipes down, and so it goes too far. And in fact, even places like Yellowstone National Park would be out of attainment with the new rule. And so the rule is unworkable. There's no science that shows we can even meet that level. But then you look at what would be the impact on Charlotte and our region if we couldn't add any new jobs, if we couldn't build any new roads, if we couldn't do any kind of construction. It would be crippling.
What's your answer to make sure that we have a safe planet for our future generations, but also can take care of the people who are here now?
Well, we have to talk facts. I mean, the Earth has warmed 0.06 degrees a year for the last 160 years. Every model that shows that we're going to go off the deep end in the next couple decades has been way off. And anytime you're modeling and trying to predict, weather or other things, usually you're the most accurate in the first few years, and then it gets a little fuzzy the further out you get. Well, these models have been. I question even these doomsday scenarios, but having said that, we all need to take care of our environment, and I think the steps North Carolina's made, a 20% reduction, and our air quality or improvement in our air quality is great, and I think we need to always look for ways we can improve that. We need to look for cleaner technologies in the way we burn coal and other fossil fuels. We need to look at more efficiencies for our cars and our homes. These are all good things that we all support, but you shouldn't do it at the detriment of the economy and our society, particularly when the goals you're setting, even the EPA says, is going to have zero impact on the overall effect on global temperature. There was a big volcano years ago in Europe, and it was so bad they shut down air travel in northern Europe. Well, that volcano in the first hour created as much pollution as the whole population of the Earth did in a year. And I mean, so when we're talking about trying to make these changes, we have to ask, what's the real impact going to be, and then what's the cost, and we have to really balance that.
We have much more to discuss here on FlashPoint with Congressman Richard Hudson. Stay with us. We will be right back.